Hello, Vivant fam. I am so excited. Welcome back. Thank you. I appreciate you coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are in store for a treat. So, I have a beautiful introduction that I've written for you, Ayana, and I'd like
Oh
to
my
read it if
goodness.
you'd like to honor. I'm going to read it. I want everybody to know I'm reading it because it was really thoughtful. I wanted to make sure I encompass all of your accolades and who you are because you're just so amazing and dope. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, arts enthusiasts in my cherished community, my Vivant fam. It is with immense joy and sisterly affection that I welcome a phenomenal force in the art world, the incomparable Ayana Evans, who also happens to be my sorority sister of the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Hailing from Chicago, now electrifying New York City with her dynamic presence, my hometown, Ayana is not just an artist, she's a movement. With a BA in Visual Arts from Brown University, Ivy, and an MFA in painting from Tyler School of Art at Temple University, Philadelphia, PA, where I've got my roots. She is seamlessly blending academia with raw, unfiltered expression. Ayana's performances are nothing short of a revolution. Her ongoing public interventions, Operation Catsuit, and I Just Came Here to Find a Man, have challenged societal norms and ignited conversations about race, gender, and autonomy. Her artistry has graced esteemed institutions like El Museo del Barrio, the Barnes Foundation in Philadelphia, the Bronx Museum, leaving audiences spellbound. Beyond the stage, Ayana is a dedicated educator, imparting her wisdom as an adjunct professor at Brown University. Her role as editor at large at Cult Bites showcases her commitment to nurturing and critiquing the art community. Accolades such as Franklin Furnace Fund for Performance Art and several countless fellowships that we cannot list because the show will not get started, where her interdisciplinary art only scratches the surface of her well-deserved recognition. On a personal note, a decade-long friendship has been a journey of mutual admiration and support. I have had the honor of collecting her art and witnessing firsthand behind the camera her genius. As a proud collector of her work, my home resonates with the stories of her art tells. Now, as we dive into the latest endeavor, how often are you photographed with your permission, opening April 3rd at the Ralph Arnold Gallery of Loyola University in Chicago? Let's dive into the mind of this visionary and young genius, Ayana Evans.
Wow. Wow. Okay. What an introduction. That was wow. We got home. You said it all. We talked, we did it all now. Go home and rest. Feel like it's over. I
Yes,
was introduced and I went home.
yes, but this is who you are. You are a living work of art. You're a walking canvas dipped in truth and audacity. For those that are just discovering who you are, what are maybe a few lesser known facts? I just read your resume, or facts that people may not know about Ayana. Care to share?
Facts that people might not know. Okay, let's see. How many you want?
Let's give us three.
3? Okay. People don't know. I feel like people know like everything about me, but okay. I was a handbag designer for like 7 years. People don't know that.
I didn't know
People
that.
don't know that. And I like obviously like my high school friends or my friends from college know that. But like, yeah, I feel like a lot of art world people don't know that. And I went to FIT. So I have an associate's in accessory design. People definitely don't know that. And my brother used to be a rapper. Or he's still a rapper, but like that used to be his only job. Like he just toured and that was it.
So I just learned two things. First of all, I didn't know any of those three things, but I just learned two things. First of all, you're multi-hyphenated for real, right? Because you're a designer. So I didn't know, but it doesn't surprise me your creativity translating into artistry as well as performance. Like it totally makes sense, right? And then the idea that artistry and creativity runs in your family, like it is your DNA. Like that is who you and your family is. So
Yeah,
that's
it
like
definitely
super.
runs in a family. Like for sure, I have a creative family. Like I've gone to other people's family gatherings, and I'm like, oh, this is like tamer. Like
Okay.
something I can feel the difference when I go to other people's stuff.
I'm just saying when we hang out, it's always a party. It's always lively. So I can only imagine when you're with your family, it's like amplified.
It is, and like me wearing this, like you will see women wearing like their like full beat face And it's just we're hanging out at like my cousin Jackie's house. Jackie actually
Wow.
passed away, but like we used to hang at Jackie's all the time.
Okay. All right. And
If one of my cousins showed up and like her hair is done and her lip is bright and her dress is tight, like nobody would be like, why you got that on? We'd just be like, hey, like,
that's
yeah, like we'd be like, it's our holiday. Of course she wanted to look nice. Like, yeah, we're a little over the top, I realize.
well, I love that. I love that because it just gives me a better understanding of like this is who you are, and you have a supportive family that like celebrates that. Like no one can be mad. Like
Mm-hmm.
yes, I want to be an artist. All right, we believe
Oh
that, and
yeah,
we
no,
want to support that.
they're like, I'm coming to the show. I'll repost it. I'm gonna tell my church group. Like, they are supportive.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. I feel like we've known each other for over 10 years. I've lived in at least 3 to 4 cities during our friendship. I feel like our friendship and our story spans a decade of creative kinship, and sisterly solidarity. Witnessing your fire and your creativity firsthand from the 2 powerful photo exhibitions that I was behind the scenes while you were creating it. Um, Standing there beside you and watching your brilliance. Can you share a bit of the origin of the stories of those works and how our shared journey has added texture and depth to your artistic path?
Those
And I
work.
can
So
share
one,
one. Yeah, and I have one story as well too to add to
okay,
that.
so you came to Martha's Vineyard with me and Today McConan, since podcast got to be formal. So Today McConan and I were at Martha's Vineyard for the summer. I mean, so Art on the Vine, and they actually don't do it anymore, which I hate that. Like I wish it would come back, but I know it was a lot of work for Jessica. But anyway, it was Today and I in residency, and we were just the fool. We were all over the island. We were in costume every day. We were like hanging out with the polar bears. We were doing our thing. We were at the grocery store stripping. Like we did everything. So you popped in on that, and we were just like in the zone. Like and we would end the day with like sparkling water, wine, and chocolate, like every day. Like that was we were living fabulous. And so you came into that, but you jumped right in and you were like, oh, I'm gonna watch the camera. I could do this. I could do that. Cause we were doing it by remote control, which works, but it's hard. Like it makes you, basically you have to run, get in place, pose, and hit it. Like you got 10 seconds or whatever the remote allows. So we were always kind of like under this pressure to run and get into pose position. But when you came, suddenly someone could hit it for us. Somebody just to hit the button. Cause we were like, okay, it freed us up so much. And I remember Today and I talking about that because until then we had been doing it 100% on our own. So it's like I would take pictures of her, she would take pictures of me. But then when it's pictures of us together, which I think you have one of those, like one of us together.
Mhm.
Um, and there's
Actually, this
pictures of
one.
you in it.
This one.
Yes. That's a run and clip, take a picture. It doesn't look like that.
I mean, no, it does
Running
not.
on those rocks,
No, it does
we
not
would
look
look
like
at it
that.
and then we run in place and take the picture and then we run back. It was comedy. Like we took that picture like 50 times. And the one you have is the one we're like, okay, we got it.
So it's so interesting just off of that story because that's the one in Martha's Vineyard. And I remember when you did that art sale, which is cool creative story on its own. But I was taking the pictures and it was so dope because I'm taking the pictures. I'm like, I'm not a great photographer at all. I don't think I did a good job, but I was there. I was in service and I was like, how should the pictures look like? And you guys was like, weird. I was like, hey, that's great. That's it. I'm doing a good job. And so they were so dope and it was so colorful. And it was interesting because I had like this pink top on. So I do have a couple of pictures. I need to go dig them up and because I have a wall dedicated for 2 of the pieces and I want to fill that wall with some pictures that I want to incorporate. But you guys were like weird. I was like, no, I don't know. This is my first like on the scene shoot. So I was just like, I don't know. I'm just
I
here.
think
Just
we
tell me
had
what you
fishnets on our heads, like colorful
Yes.
fishnets. Like
Yeah,
we had all sorts of stuff going on.
but you guys had reimagined the space and created it, and it felt like the juxtaposition of the beach, fabric, your Black bodies, the texture, the story, the form, the body. I'm going to use this word. It was intoxicating for me. it was very multi-sensory because it was visual, it was auditory, there was laughter, it was joy. It was a lot. It was beautiful. And I was like, you guys need to just monetize that experience. And the real story that I had to tell, because I was like, listen, people will want to be behind the scenes of this because this is amazing. I've never witnessed something like this.
I
It
think
was
you said that to us then, and we were just like, yeah, whatever. Just hit the button. Keep hitting the buttons.
yeah. The other thing that I remember, and then I'll definitely, I was just like, I remember you guys selling a lot of pieces. And the day before, I was there for like a couple of days. I had come to see you guys twice because I lived in Boston. And I think there was
That's right.
another time, and I had said, I want you guys to manifest that you guys are going to sell a lot of pieces. Your pieces were priced right for the Martha's Vineyard crew. But you guys were like, we don't know if it's going to sell. We don't know if we're going to get a crowd. And the art dealer in me was like, you're going to sell. How many pieces do you guys want to sell? I don't know if you remember that. I was like, how many pieces do you guys want to sell? Say the number, say it, just manifest it. And I think you guys said 3. And I think, I don't want to drop names, but a museum curator from New York City brought in a friend who actually ended up buying 2 to 3
She sure
pieces.
did. She sure
So
did.
I was like, I was so happy for y'all, but
Yeah,
that
she
was
did. She brought in a friend. And her friend was fabulous. Like, I remember I came up to her friend not knowing, like, I knew it was her friend, but like, I didn't think, I'm not saying nothing to her because I think she's going to buy something. I'm just like, oh, that's your homie. So I was like, oh my God, your skirt. Like, I still remember her skirt. Like, I remember what she looked like because she was fabulous. Like, I was just like, you're everything. Like, I'm digging this.
I love
And
that.
then
I
we like
love that.
went off to do some other weird performance in the street. Like we had like made these cardboard signs. We were like in bikinis, like looking and fishnets. We were looking wild at Martha's Vineyard, like in the street with our signs. Talk about
Making
the
a
shirts are
statement.
$50, and but increasing the price every. I think it was every 30 minutes or every 15 minutes. We would scratch it out and increase the price, even though our sign was like it was the most bootleg cardboard crazy looking sign. And we were like, we don't care. That's the price.
That's the price. That's the price. But I think it's the statement as well, because I remember you were like, people were recognizing you guys and seeing you because you guys were you guys were there for a
We're
fellowship for
all
the entire
over. And
run.
people talk. So they're like, have you seen these girls?
Yeah, right. And then, like, you're creative, and it's salacious, but it's really not salacious activity. So that's the
Right.
thing. Oh, okay. So you wear many hats and crowns, I should say. You're a professor, you're an editor-in-chief, you're a performance alchemist. How do you harmonize all of these roles, and in what way do you pour back into each of them to shape your personal lens and that make sure your voice is not lost?
Okay, I'm going to admit something. The editor in chief, I don't do much with that. I don't.
Okay.
Like, that's like one article a year, maybe.
Okay.
And me calling up the founder of the Cult Bites, Anna Michaela, like we're friends, like we're really good friends. So it's more me being like, girl, there's this performance that maybe you should check out, or maybe not even that forceful. It's like I got my eye on somebody, and I'm like, I really love this performance artist. I want to introduce you. So it's not quite so like it's more fluid. It's not a jobby job. Like that one's not a jobby job.
Mhm.
That's like, if you go to a show and you really want to write about it, let me know. So that's
Okay.
low pressure. Teaching, not gonna lie, that gets on my neck sometimes. Cause you gotta cause you're supposed to be there every week, but then you need to perform and you're supposed to show up to somebody's opening. I've missed so many openings this week. So that's a negotiation. Like I'm way more busy with the art in the summer than I am during the school year. Like that's just real. Like that's how it falls out.
Okay.
And then, dang, what's the other? You have like all these hats. I'm like, I
The
don't feel like I have that
performance.
many hats.
The
Oh,
performer.
okay. So that one's always there. That's the one that never leaves. I always think about, I'm obsessed with it. Like, so because I'm obsessed with it, I don't consider that one a hat. Like, it's just like, oh, that's who you are. You know how like a fashion designer is like obsessed with fashion. Like they always talk
Yeah.
about it. They watch a bunch of shows. They go to it. Like it's what they like. That's how I feel about performance art. Like I love it. Like I obsessed with it. Like I go to it as often as I can. I don't care if it's a small hole in the wall thing. I don't care if it's a fancy thing. Like it just has to be that thing. Like I love it. So that part is the easy part, even though it probably takes up the most time and the most effort. People probably like, oh, but you jumping in the street. Like, yes, technically more exertion, but like I love it. Like that's the thing that fills me back up.
That's your purpose. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
actually
like
a tough
100%.
question. I'm actually a tough
Okay.
question. I mean, so if being performer is your number one thing, that's your purpose driven design, how do you feel about the monetization and the performance and the where the market is in digital media, doing that online versus in person? I know you've been in Venice. Like, is it hard to be able to do that? I mean, it's a lot. I can only imagine.
No,
Okay, go for it.
that part's fine for me. Like I know people that hate that. They're like digital sucks. They hate Instagram. They hate TikTok. They hate, you know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, I don't like all that. I actually do enjoy that. Like mostly. Like
Okay.
I'm not truly on TikTok. Like on TikTok, I'm like a stalker. Like I just have one of those accounts that's like all numbers and I just look at people's stuff. But like I enjoy it. Like I look at what I like and I get off. Like, and then on Instagram, I'm more active.
Okay.
But I'm not one of those people that's like, you know what though? I come from Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, YouTube. Like, yeah, I'm educated, but in truth, my performance career comes through social media.
Okay.
Like
And
I
so,
first started posting myself doing Operation Catsuit. And it was just me walking through galleries in the catsuit and friends. And they were designers. All of the people that took those really, really early, they're grainy, but because it's from like 2012. Those early videos of me walking places and crashing them and they're recording the responses. Most of those people are like jewelry designers. Like people I know from FIT are taking those videos. So that for me is like a starting point. Like up until then, I'm not a performance artist at all.
Mhm.
So because YouTube, like it kind of went viral at some point, one of the videos, and then like it got like, I don't know, something crazy, like 50,000 hits in one day. Like I went from like 2 people would look at it in a month, literally. Like I would check it. I never thought it would be a lot of people, but I would check it. I would write people back. Like even if they were trolling me, I would write them back. And just be like, well, this is about the Black body. And this is about, like, I thought that was the work, like to have these little conversations. And so all of a sudden overnight, it like went. And then somebody told this like indie curator in Bushwick, who I'm still friends with. And they kind of hated me because I was going to performance shows, but I didn't call myself a performance artist. I was like, I do this little social experiment. It's like just something I do for fun. I'm not a performance artist. Like, I was like, no, like, I don't want to say that's what I am. Like, I'm not trained in this. I've never done it. Like, I would give you this long apologetic speech if you asked me if I was a performance artist. I did that for like 5 years. The first 5 years of my career was a long speech about how I used to be a painter and then I went into fashion and now I kind of do experiments socially.
Wow.
And I'm a fan. That's what I used to say. I'm a fan of performance.
So Operation Catsuit, it is provocative. It's like a prayer. It's a protest wrapped in velvet and fire. Take us to the beginning. I mean, what sparked this iconic work for you and how has it transformed over the years?
Ironically, it got sparked because I was coming from fashion and trying to go back into art. Cause like my undergrad's in art, my master's is in art, right? And I did Skowhegan as a painter. And then I left it not long after that, which you're not supposed to do in art. Like people that know it are like, oh, that's weird. Like, so I spent 2 years as a painter after Skowhegan. I did Skowhegan in the middle of grad school, went to Rome for a year, and then I painted in Chicago. I actually went back home for 2 years. And then I came to New York and like a year after coming to New York, I quit painting. And I was just like, I will be a fashion designer. Everybody thought I was crazy. Anyway, so when you try to go back into art after leaving it, like I left it for like 7 years and trying to get back into it, I realized like 2 things. My cohort was kind of gone. Like people had moved away or had moved up to the point where they weren't going out as much, which I now fully understand. They were getting so many shows. Like there's a point where you're getting so many shows that you can't go to so many shows because you need to go home and do your work. They were at that point.
Okay.
I was at the beginning stage where you're just trying to meet people and you need to go to the show so you know what's going on. So my cohort's pretty much gone or not at my level anymore. They've moved up. And I was going to shows, but I'm coming as a fashion person now. So, and I had a sequence phase. So this was my sequence phase. So I wanted to sequence head to toe. And I had these like silk, paisley purple MC Hammer pants that I loved wearing with like heels. It was a look. I thought it was a look. Anyway, it made me look like I didn't belong to people. So I remember going to openings and people asking like, who are you here with? And it's like Chelsea Thursday night free, like the free openings that used to be so packed with people. And I would get asked, who are you here with? And I remember because I'm coming from art as the beginning, I know that you asking this don't make sense. Like, why do I not fit into you?
Especially if it's an opening, which is
It's an
open to
opening.
everyone.
Oh, and this is not me just showing up on a regular. This is an opening, and I would get asked that. Somebody asked me, "Whose girlfriend are you?" once, as if you had to come here with a man. And I think it's because my outfit was tight and I had on high heels, and it was just like I didn't have the art girl look. And at the time, even now, I think there's a look. Like there's a chunky shoe. If you wear a short skirt, it's a chunky shoe. If you have on kind of a sexy-ish dress, it's a little too busy. And then they pair it with the chunky glasses a lot. Like this doesn't even fit the glasses that I'm really talking about. Like the heavy, I feel like those maybe a little less now, but everybody already has them. The Malcolm X or the like just all around heavy is like it's like a 1960s look, like a
very
50s.
dramatic look.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking? You've seen the glasses. They cover
Now,
most of your
now that
face.
you're saying this,
They make you look smart right away.
oh my gosh, I have a
It's a
story
look.
about
And
trying to
I
look a
was not
certain
doing that
way.
look. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. In
Yes.
fashion, though, at least at that time, this is like 2010, 2005. The name of the game was, I mean, magazines were still like bigger than they are now, right? And fashion bloggers were a thing. So you came out dressed to the nines so that people would take your photo and you would carry your product so that your product is in the photo. And it's like free publicity. If you look good enough in New York,
Yep.
with your product, you're getting your photo taken. And you could get into, I learned this early, you could get into most fashion events then. I don't know now. I'm not really sneaking into fashion events now. But back then, if I dressed the part and showed up and said, I'm here to see blah, 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 they would let you in. Like the shows at Bryant Park, I saw so many shows because I didn't even know I was sneaking in. I thought because because calendar was posted online, that you could
You
go.
just walk in.
I thought that. I was Bama. That's Bama. I really thought.
The naivete of that is what helped me be successful as a 26-year-old art gallery owner on Gallery Row in Philadelphia.
Hey.
And then to a point that I
Yep.
hear your sentiment of trying to look older and trying to be more professional looking to fit in this very elite.
Yep. You're trying to make it work. You're trying to make them say, you're one of us. And therefore, and I'm telling this to so there came a point where I remember talking to one of my fashion friends. I'm still friends with her. Shout out to Samia. I'm still friends with her. So I remember sitting with her at Soho House. We're like sitting back, having like coffee, feeling fabulous. And I'm just like, this art thing, these people don't talk to me. Like, I don't fit in. Like, I'm kind of complaining. And she was like, forget them. You should go in your underwear. Forget this. You're trying to fit in. She was like, why are you trying to be like boring? You're trying to like, and people were wearing black. People were wearing a lot of black. And I mean, they wear black now, but it was like a phase where like, there's a photo of me in a crowd doing Operation Catsuit. And it's like me in this neon and everyone around me is in black. And like, it was just a candid photo. Like there were a lot of moments where people were just all black at the time. And so she was like, just stop trying to fit in. Like, it's not you. Just quit trying to fit in, go in your underwear. So that was the first. And so I thought about it and I was like, she was like, wear a blazer and like some lingerie and some heels. I thought about it and I was like, that's not really me. But then she has this friend, Tiffany Rose, who runs Butch Diva, who makes the bodysuits I wear. And her theme was spandex and chaos. And when I heard the tagline of her, I was like, sign me up. Like what? Like spandex, like, do you hear me? Like, I was like, that's the weird, give me all of this. Like, this is it. Like, you get me.
You got it. You see me. All of me.
Exactly. And she was like, I dress wrestlers, figure skaters, and dance hall queens. Like I was just like, I'm dead. I love it. So I went over to her sample sale and she had all these different bodysuits, but only like two of them fit. One is cream with gold hieroglyphics. And the other one is the one everybody knows. It's like this color, but it has longer sleeves. And so I thought about it. I was like, I knew I wanted to crash openings in this outfit. Because this is skin tight, it's bright, and I'm wearing my heels. And I used to never wear my glasses on purpose because that to me felt like the art look. I was like, fuck it. Like, we're not doing it at all. So I thought about what it would look like with a white background, a red lip, my skin tone, my hair color. And I was like, the white and hieroglyphics will wash to the background. So I'm thinking like a painter, really.
Yeah.
But I was like, this will work in a white background. It's going to pop. So that's how I borrowed it. It wasn't even supposed to be mine. So I borrowed it, wore it, and then was like, oh, this is interesting. I should wear it more. And she was like, girl, you can just keep wearing it. And so I kept wearing it. Eventually, 3 months later, I paid for it because I was like, I don't wear it so much.
You can't return this.
Get us back. Exactly.
It's imprinted on me.
Actually, I'm like, what am I going to do? And I stretched the butt out. I was like, no, I'm going to keep this. And so for a long time, it was just one suit. It was always the same suit. Now there's like 6. And there's variations. Like there's a dress, there's an evening jacket with sequins. There's like all these different variations now. But at first, it was one. And I would hand wash it in the sink and hang it up. And that's how I stretched it out to make it like last for like 3 years instead of needing one right away. Because I was broke. That was the other thing. I'm dead broke. So it didn't make any sense. I'm telling people, oh, I'll be a performance artist. I'm going to do this thing and I'm just going to do stuff on the street. And it escalated because I started out crashing. No one knew who I was, but I was posting it on YouTube. So that's what I mean by I come from social media. Like I enjoyed posting on YouTube, talking to people. The trolls didn't bother me. So anyway, I was posting on YouTube, but then finally one day I went somewhere and somebody said, I did not have cameras with me, but somebody said, am I being recorded? And I was like, oh, this is caught on to the point where now people expect to be recorded when they're standing with me at an art opening and I have this outfit on. So that's when I kind of feel like the gig is up. So I need to do other things to like push myself and like test social boundaries. So then it starts being more confrontational, more in your face, a lot more physical in the street, literally the street. And then eventually I'm invited to museums and galleries. So if you really look at my career without social media, it doesn't happen.
Wow. So talk about digital first. And when we think about digital, it is a channel. It is its own marketing channel, its own communications channel, but it's a public space. So not only are you redefining public space online and interrupting the status quo there, but you're doing it in real life, IRL, as well, redefining public space. That is so dope. And it takes ingenuity for it to translate and feel the same in both mediums. And I wonder, is there a difference in terms of when people are watching it after the fact online versus being there in person? Like, is there a difference?
I think there's a difference for some people. I don't think it's different for everybody. I think some people, like, if you really, like, there are people who only look at weird videos on YouTube. Like, that's their TV, that's their everything.
Mhm.
So if you think of it like that, like some people are only doing that. Like that's all they do.
Okay.
But that's also their gallery. That's their TV. That's their entertainment. That's their art gallery. That's their everything. If you think of it that way, then for them it translates, right? Because that's also the person that's probably not coming in person. That's not their jam. It's kind of two separate audiences. Like there's some people who see me online and they're satisfied with that. And there's some people who only want to see me in person. They're satisfied with that. It's like in the Venn diagram, there is overlap. There's overlap. But I do always kind of feel like it's two separate camps. Because the other thing is social media is not the art world, right?
Yeah. It's interesting because I've seen the photography work. I've been behind the scenes, and that is an amazing experience. But I've also watched, I remember during COVID, you and Sade would do the pop-ups on live, on Facebook, and that was amazing. And not to say I prefer one over the other. I think I would prefer in person because I'm probably not watching it on a big screen. I'm watching it on my phone, or it's not after the fact. Like if it was really like post-production, or if I'm seeing the post-production, I probably never saw that. I don't think I've seen that version.
I feel like I never saw that.
I never saw it. I'm not just saying because I imagine you've created it. I haven't seen it, so I want to take that onus away. But I even remember, you and I talking about that one. There was not a startup that was doing basically how you record fashion shows. They were on TV, on your television screen. They were recording performances. And I was like, I would be into that. I no longer watch TV, but I would love to have art or fashion shows and people just and on my screen live. I don't think I just want a scrolling of art, but I would want a performance that's interactive. And so that would be, for me, I would find joy in that, especially now that I live in Texas, although we're the second performing arts community in the United States, second to New York. I don't know if you knew that. We're
Really?
bigger than Chicago. Yes, yes. We have
No.
the second largest theater district. Yes, we do. I'll put the stat
Okay.
and let you
Y'all
know.
got a theater district, but Chicago has Second City. And because they got Second City, I got to give them the crown. Y'all might have more theaters. Y'all probably got more theaters. I give y'all that.
Okay.
Y'all might even have more black people because Chicago's losing people now.
We got a lot
But
of black people.
Second City is still a way to break through in comedy and acting and like I just found out recently that like Tiffany Haddish did Second City. I was like, what?
What
Like
is Second
I
City?
never heard her. She was talking about it. Maybe she didn't do it. Maybe I have this wrong. But somehow it influenced her career. And I was like, what? I think it was Tiffany Haddish. Oh, no, back it up. It wasn't Tiffany Haddish. It was Halle Berry.
Interesting.
It was Halle Berry. Because after her, what am I trying to say? Her beauty career, her beauty pageant career.
Okay.
She went to Chicago and she did modeling and acting and she did Second City.
Okay.
That's kind of one of her bases for her bones to start acting.
What is Second City for the folks that are not aware?
It's like honestly, I don't fully understand it because I'm not an actor, but it's a troupe that does improvisation, and
Oh, okay.
you can go to shows pretty frequently. They have shows, I think weekly,
Okay.
and people are just improvising. So it's the the theater yes and idea. Like someone starts it and they have to keep rolling with it, and so sometimes that can fall flat. Sometimes you go and it's bad. Sometimes you go and it's amazing. But there's a lot of people. I wish I had a list in front of me. There's a lot of people
All right.
who did Second City, and she's one that I just found out about recently, and it shocked me. Because I was
Wow.
like, wait a minute, I didn't know that. But it like you think on your feet after doing it because you're improvising all the time. You're doing techniques with other actors, comedians all the time, and I feel like you know comedians who come out of it. Who came out of it? Of course, now I can't remember anybody.
I believe
But
it. I believe it.
there's a list. Scroll the list at this point. There's a list. And so it's a place where, and it's more affordable. That's the other thing. So
As a
you could live
city
in
to live.
Chicago,
Yeah.
pay Chicago rent, and still get connections to New York because New York producers and directors and cast people will come to Second City and cherry pick people.
Love that. I love that. I went to a theater arts high school, but my mom was like, she wasn't down for the
She
theater
was like,
arts. And I
nah,
didn't
we're
have,
not doing
yeah, and
that.
I didn't have the memory for it
Totally see you
either.
as an actress. Like I feel like you have that vibe.
Really?
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Like 100%.
But it's interesting. I don't have a good memory. So that
I
I
don't
could see
either.
I could see improvisation, but I don't have a really good memory. So I couldn't see myself like memorizing scripts and things of that nature. I would have struggled. I have a few more questions for you.
Okay.
Through a little bit of research, just doing a little bit more research on you, and the word activism came up. Do you feel like your performance is an ode or, a nod to being activism, or are you protesting or standing up to the status quo?
I think I challenge the status quo a little bit. Like I challenge respectability politics a little bit. Maybe some people would say a lot. Like it depends on who you are, right? Like how shocking what I do feels to you. But I do think that I love doing things that I know other people think are weird. And I use that lovingly because what other people think are weird, I usually think is like delightful, like freedom. So I think there's that in my work. I wouldn't call that activism. I think now people call me an activist because of the work I do with formerly incarcerated people. So I feel like that started to become known. And so based on that, they might call me an activist. And that's activist work. Like that I can call activist work. I still don't think I'm an activist because even when I go to activist stuff, sometimes I feel like I don't fit in. It's like the art thing happening all over again. It's like you're supposed to not have on like like a super tight red lip. Like you're not like the
Yeah.
activist space has a look also.
Yeah.
And I don't have that look.
And the only reason I was asking, because it is provocative, and some would say your dance really faults on the line between resistance and this revolting, like just revolting around what I should be wearing as a Black woman or an artist or a creative. But it's bigger than that. It's like as an individual and walking into public space. I always say I love Nina Simone's quote around, artist duties to reflect the times. And I think you're on a divine assignment around the work that you're doing and really redefining tender spaces. And when I say tender, like really fragile spaces, and saying, no, I'm going to be loud. I'm going to be proud. I'm going to be bold. And I'm going to be in this space if you think I belong or not. And then not only on top of that, I am going to make art out of it. I'm going to make profit. I'm going to build on this. Like I'm switching the tables. You guys are actually now the supporting cast. So I think that's beautiful. So as a proud collector of your work, I don't just own art. For me, I feel like my pieces live with me, right? Yeah. I'm very sensitive. I have over 400 pieces in my collection. I am very sensitive.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I have a lot of art. Yes, a lot of art. And I'm very selective of the art that I hang in my home. Each piece in my collection from these two pieces, I guess they were though they're two separate collections because one was the Vineyard and then this was a different one. So there's two separate collections. And then I never got the one that we did in San Francisco together. And there was like two in that series. So I
never printed those. I never printed those. I posted one on Instagram and then I never printed it. I never shown it anywhere. Like people probably don't even know what you're talking about because it's like one post, 4 years ago now? More than that is before the pandemic.
Listen,
I know it was after the pandemic. So maybe it's 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's one post.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I didn't use it. It's not that I didn't like it either. It's just, I don't know. At this point, I finally have enough photography work that I don't know. I don't post it all. I don't.
And there will be a point where you could do a retrospective, and there's going to be a point where you want to do a limited edition.
People are going to be like, "Where's this coming from? I don't remember this."
Or maybe San Francisco Museum calls you, and you're like, "I have something that actually will fit," right? I think
right. It'd be like surprise.
Yeah, I think it's like having. I have a huge wardrobe as well. I'm a collector by nature. I just collect things. I think picking the right outfit for the perfect occasion, because sometimes you could be, you have a dress, but you don't pull it out until that perfect event.
That's true.
The perfect exhibition or curator hasn't called you yet. So it'll show up.
Yeah. It hasn't had a moment yet. But yeah, I haven't, it's funny you bring it up because I'm like, wow, I haven't done anything with that. I just haven't. And you know what's funny? The picture that you took that I like the most, you can see my maxi pad. And I know we then tried to take a whole bunch that don't show it, but that's the one I like the most.
And you know what was so funny?
I wasn't stupid and deleted it. I hope I didn't delete it because part of me was like, maybe you shouldn't show it.
But I think to your point of the statement you're trying to make. Because I was like, your pad is showing, and I'm trying to hide it and work around it.
I know, and I'm just with my legs in the car, what? Get the car.
Open. And it was like, you were like, don't worry about it. Just go. But we probably could Photoshop it out and all of that. But the reality is we are women.
Yeah.
And there's shame or embarrassment in that. That is the thing. And that is the thing. Right. And whatever catches someone to the piece. And, I guess that's the statement. The question, I don't even remember what my question was around that, but I love just this dialogue that we just had about you being able to sit on art. That's interesting. A lot of times you hear, artists, they have to create and they have to put it out and people have to see it. And you're like, I can sit on it, have so much of it. And that's a blessing. So I'm happy for you. So, before we come to a close, I want to talk about this new exhibition that you have. How often are you photographed without your permission? What a question. What a reckoning. Because I think I am photographed, especially when I'm overseas.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to tell us about the soul of this exhibition that's curated by Jessica Langley.
Yeah.
What inspired it, the truths that you're offering, the conversation that you want to see echoed from this exhibition?
Well, it's funny because this exhibition goes back to the beginning and shows the YouTube videos are in the gallery, actually, from the original Operation Catsuit. So, and in the videos, people are taking my picture without my permission. But what's interesting to me is how many people, when they hear the title, to have a story of someone doing that to them. So it resonates, this idea of consent and who is not granted consent and why. And what I find is when people find that you're odd or they think you look sexy, they think that gives them permission to treat you like an object. And so it ends up happening to a lot of people. Like if I include oddities and sexual people, now I've put a lot of people into that boat. And sometimes both things are happening at the same time. They're like, you're odd and I'm turned on and I'm just going to take this picture. But there's a bit of like your thing to them. They're not thinking about it's going to make you feel weird. It might scare you. You might feel worried. You might feel like you even need to go home now. Like this person's stalking me. I got to go home. Like, so it brings up those type of that discussion in my work, which I think is good because I feel like when I put it on YouTube, that discussion kind of never happened.
Okay.
So it's allowing that something that I've thought about but never was able to really talk to the public about, so to speak. And then also there's a lot of Jessica's vision, the curator's vision, and how she's presenting different aspects of like Black womanhood in this show. So like there's a video in there that it's me and Sade like shaking our fat. Like it's you can't see our face, it's just our thighs shaking. And it's called Cellulite. And Dominique de Rousseau shot the film. And so that's in there. So that's a very stripped down, just us without outfits on. You know, like what do you look like when you're at home? That's kind of what I was thinking about. Dom was thinking about like Black sexuality and Black love, sisterhood, like all of that's in that piece. So it's kind of this conversation about how you're perceived and then how you love yourself. Like all of that's in the show.
I love it. You know, the Ralph Arnold Gallery is in for a treat. My question is, so it's a mix of video. Is there photography as well? Are there any other media?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of photography. Photography is the newer stuff. So the video is a little bit older. Dom's piece is like more new. That's I think 2018, 2019. But the photography is all like 2023, 2024. It's all pretty recent. And most of that's from when I was doing these residencies. Like I had a moment where I was just like in residency, constantly going to residencies back to back. And so a lot of the stuff was shot at Yaddo. I think there might be a couple things from Headlands. But like when I'm in these residencies, I kind of feel like I've been thrown into these backdrops that maybe I wouldn't normally have had access to. Like there's a mansion at Yaddo that a lot of artists and writers stay at. And so like definitely one picture and it's on the what do you call it? The promo picture. It's like me on the steps in the cat suit with the fishnets and like I had these new boots and so I put my boots on.
Love it.
But it looks kind of like I'm falling and someone took my picture, but it's really a camera trick. Like it's like not a camera trick, but a body trick, I guess. Like I'm holding my stomach so tight that I can manipulate my legs and I'm frozen and I'm holding a remote at the same. If you look at those pictures, there's always one hand you can't see. And it's because it's holding the remote. So I'm upside down on the stairs and they're like red carpeted stairs with like the big oak, what do you call that? The side panels. Like it just looks very stately. It looks like a mansion staircase that you descend down. And so it's me in the cat suit, like, but kind of upside down. I look more androgynous because my head is covered, my hair is covered. And it's my boots from, where did I get those? Those are from San Francisco, actually.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Ayana, your journey is a testament to just creativity, resilience, unapologetic expression. I often joke and say, I wish I was a photographer, not a photographer, but an artist. It'd be like making paper money because it could come. But, you know, today was about really celebrating you today and all this work. This was an honor. Thank you for allowing me to share who you are and your work in this upcoming exhibition with my listeners. Vivant fam, how they can find you, where they could find you. Tell them what you would like them to do and how they can support you as well.
All right. So easiest way to support me is to follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm really doing stuff. If I post on TikTok, it's BS. Don't follow that. So it's just my name, Ayana.m.evans. That is my Instagram handle. And you can also find me on just my regular website. And that's just my name, first and last. Ayana Evans, no space, no nothing in between. Yeah, those two ways you can find me. There's even an email address. So I'm super findable. You can see all the work I've done in the past and stuff coming up.
Is there any art on your website for sale?
Not right now because we had to redo the whole website.
Okay, no problem. You let us know, and we'll reshare some of this
I mean,
information.
people message me. People buy from me on Instagram. They'll message me and be like, I like this picture. I'm always shocked by that, but at the same time, I'm like, go off. I like it too. So I'll tell you the price and I'll ship it
Yes,
to you.
yes, I love that. I love that. Exactly. Yes. So you're
Like
selling
it
art.
really, I think sometimes people don't realize how easy it is to buy art. Like they think there's a rule. And there's no rule. You can do payment plans with artists. You can call them up and just be like, I saw this on your Facebook page or whatever. Can I buy it? It's yes or no.
Yep. Yep. I love it. And I tell people all the time, people accept payment plans. Don't feel intimidated to buy art. I
Mhm,
encourage people
mhm.
to just start, identify what you like, what speaks to you, what sparks energy for you, and support. This idea that you have to have a house to buy art is like, no, you don't. Or you have to be wealthy to own art. No, you don't. There's so many
Nope.
myths that I'm always busting. And so, again, I just want to say thank you. I invite everyone. I'm going to put all her details, her upcoming exhibition. I would love for you to follow her. I actually was just looking at our page. We have like 30 friends in common because I always am sharing your work, and because I'm a fan. I'm a soror, but I'm a fan. And so I'm glad that there are some folks already supported, but we want to see how many more are going to be following after this show. So again, thank you. Again, I appreciate you. Any final words?
No, I just want to thank you, Florcy, because you are a supporter of Black art. And that's meaningful. Like that's what we need, especially right now. So it's meaningful, it's helpful. And I think you might not see it that way. Like it might not always feel like it's appreciated, but I see you and I appreciate it. I do. I really do.
Thank you. All right, fam. Peace. Bye.